Away from security matters, a joint action of civil organizations held a peaceful protest at the gates of the National Assembly, demanding the passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. They say reforming the electoral legal framework for credible elections is a top priority. Correspondent Habib Alawal reports.
December 2020, the National Assembly held a public hearing on the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, which provided public participation to the electoral reform process. Senate President Ahmed Lawan, as at the time, promised Nigerians a new electoral act by March this year. That timeline has since elapsed. Election remains the fulcrum and a feature of democracy, which is why the call to protect all conditions and instruments required to conduct free, fair and credible elections have intensified. The citizens' call for action says government must ensure the sovereign will of the people is guaranteed through the passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill.
The urgent need for reforming the electoral legal framework is founded on the broad-based consensus by Nigerian citizens and electoral stakeholders on the need for a more credible and improved electoral process.
Promoting the voting rights of the blind and the visually impaired. Number 4, reducing the cost of nomination of candidates to promote a level playing field for all contestants. Number 5, promoting the inclusion of women, youth, and persons with disability in politics.
It's the second quarter of 2021, with Anambra governorship election approaching. The bill is yet to be presented for third and final reading in both chambers of the National Assembly.
Together with Nigerians, we firmly believe that if the current electoral legal framework is not reviewed and reformed, it will have negative impact and consequences for democratic consolidation.
The group wants President Muhammadu Buhari's assent to the bill and to deliver a brand new electoral act to Nigerians ahead of this year's Democracy Day celebration.
Habib Alawal, TVC News, Abuja. Well, joining us now to discuss this is the head of elections program, Yaga Africa, James Paul. Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 10. Well, help us better understand the import of this protest at the National Assembly earlier today.
Yeah, so we thought we needed to draw attention to the slow process at the National Assembly, because what is happening now is reminiscent of what we have seen in the past. If we recall, during the 7th Assembly, the process started in 2012 and was not assented to by the President until March of 2015, a week to the election. That was President Goodluck Jonathan. And then the 8th Assembly also, the process went through an 18 months of gestation period from March of 2016 to March of 2017. And by December of 2016, 4 times, President Buhari declined assent to the bill. And of course, we are all witness to what happened during the 2019 election. One of the issues, for instance, was even the operational capacity of INEC to conduct that election. That was also based on the fact that even the resources for that election was released barely 6 weeks to the election. And we also understand issues around those elections. For instance, we have places that we thought the voting rights of people were undermined. In about 16% of polling units, according to reports by Yaga Africa, polling unit level results were not posted for the public to see. And that is why we are calling that this process should commence early. Anambra will be a testing ground for this for this new act. And we also got Ekiti and Osun election coming in 2022. That will also be a better ground to prepare ahead of the 2023 election. All of this requires planning. This is already half, the year is already half gone. We are already in April, and very soon the National Assembly will be going for their annual recess. And we are saying before that recess, we want the National Assembly to give Nigerians a brand new electoral act. Do not forget, this is just a one step of the process. It will still have to go to the presidency for assent. So we want to see that the process start early so that INEC can plan better for the election. And on our part, also as civil society organization, we can begin to engage in voter education to sensitize the public about the new electoral act and the processes and how to engage on the electoral act.
All right, Mr. James, it's a great way to end the conversation. Paul James is Program Manager, Elections, YAGA Africa. Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 10.
Thank you for the opportunity.